Hi everybody, welcome back to Newsmas with Looking for a Headline. I'm Alicia. Today I want to talk about something that applies specifically to people in Toronto. City Council has just denied a measure that was going to be added to the 2016 budget that would force corporations to actually pay for the cleaning of the water that they pollute. Right now, the way that the city works is they have limits on all of the different things that can be polluted in our water. If you go over those limits, you're supposed to pay for them. But as it stands now, corporations only have to pay for the one they go over the most by. So if they exceed the limit on every single thing that the city has to clean out of our water, they only pay for the one that they polluted the most. And the rest of that burden gets shifted onto us, the taxpayers. City Councillor John Campbell has proposed this measure every year for the last 5 years. Until this year, it had never gotten past the first stage of the budget, which is the Budget Council. This year, it passed in the Budget Council back at the end of November, and then was taken to the Executive Committee on December 1st. It did not pass the Executive Committee on December 1st, so that means they've amended this measure to be looked at again next year for the 2017 budget, bumping it back yet again. So that means for everybody living in the city of Toronto in a house, a single residence, they're going to be paying an additional 20 cents a day or $73 a year on their water bill. Which, when you say 20 cents a day, it doesn't sound like a huge amount, but the cost of living in Toronto is already sky high. Houses are on average worth $1 million, and it's really hard to make a living in Toronto because the houses are so expensive. But this is where a lot of the work is. So a lot of people are already struggling to make ends meet in Toronto, and now they're going to be paying an additional $73 a year for their water. Something I found interesting when the councillors opposed to this measure were discussing this in the Budget Council meeting. They discussed the cost to average water consumers in cents a day and then dollars per year on top of their water bill. When they discussed the impact on corporations, they discussed the total water bill for the biggest corporations for a year. They didn't talk in increases. They didn't talk about how much it was going up. They talked about how much the water bill would be. I don't know how much it would go up because that information is not readily available. All I know is for the biggest corporations, they said up to $400,000 a year for their water bills. But there was no apples to apples comparison when they were talking about this, when they were trying to refute this motion in the Budget Council. It was, it's only going to go up 20 cents a day for the average water consumer. That's $73 a year. They said 72. Check their math. Anytime you sit in on a city council meeting, check their math. And then said that some of the corporations would have water bills up to $400,000. Except that's not an accurate comparison. That doesn't provide context for the people both in the council watching and for the other councillors potentially voting on this motion who may not know a ton about it. But there's nothing we can do now. It has not passed the second of 3 stages for the budget and that means we're not getting this motion, and we'll be seeing a 20 cent a day increase on all of our water bills. Thanks for watching, guys. Allison will see you tomorrow.